Hey guys, here at OSMVDXReviews.com. This is a retro review of the Palm Tungsten E. This is actually a very interesting PDA device developed by Palm Technologies, and this is a Pocket PC PDA device that actually ran on Palm OS, which has long been deceased. But this is actually one of the most popular PDA devices to have been ever manufactured by Palm, especially in this modern age. It's been after the 2000s, and this thing is actually still in commission today. And if you look around at a lot of professional agents, whether they sell houses, architecture, or people that work around, a lot of people still carry these. Again, this remains one of the most popular PDA devices of all time, simply because it's so sleek, and simply because the price tag is just so attractive to many people. When this thing first came out, it only cost $120, which even today's standards is quite low priced for something with a lot of wireless capabilities and functionalities. It had a color TFT display that's touchscreen enabled, which even though it's resistive technology, it's still pretty easy to text around and play around with. And because it ran on Palm OS, it had all the access to productivity tools like editing and creating new Office documents, including PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. And also you could type on it using a QWERTY keyboard or using handwriting recognition, create letters by writing on this graffiti area. And of course you had access to beaming technology and all that. And all in all, again, it's made entirely out of stainless steel, so the build construction of this thing was just really incredible. It also marked the age of one of the more modern Palm devices by not having proprietary Palm, charging dock cradle anymore, but instead it uses very standard and even used today. It's a mini USB cable for charging and syncing, and you have a proprietary charger jack. But again, it's been moving away from the cradle solution for quite a long time. So this is definitely something that was revolutionary when it first came out back in 2005. More information on here. It runs with, it's compatible with Windows 7, Windows Vista, and also you have the ability to play and listen to MP3 songs. You can also watch video clips on the screen. It's a full color touchscreen, of course. You can also view photos, and if you add an SD card with Wi-Fi built in, you can also browse the web. And of course, you could play games by downloading your own applications online. So this thing also had a 126 megahertz Texas Instruments ARM-based processor, so it was also a lot faster than previous generation Palm devices, especially in the days of monochrome screens where things were like 32 or 16 megahertz Motorola Dragon Ball Z processor, but now you have 128 megahertz and at a low price. And especially considering this thing doesn't have a lot of built-in, too many applications, it just has organizer functions and a little bit of wireless functionality built in. You're not going to be doing too much, so the processor is just right on point. It has 32 megabytes of RAM, and of course it ran on Palm OS 5.2.1. And it has a 320 by 320 pixel screen, such as a perfect cube screen, and again, it's pretty responsive as well. Now, one of the main complaints that I had with this device when I was using it again a few years back was the fact that for some reason it had a little bit of issue with powering on and off, and which is why I'm not showing this powered on right now. It would intermittently power on, and sometimes it would just not come on at all. This is actually a common issue that a lot of people have experienced with this product online, and it's one of the main reasons that the ratings for this thing is surprisingly, not as good as you probably would have expected. When it works amazingly, but when it doesn't, it just quits on you, basically. You have to get replacement stuff from Palm, which can get expensive and costly, so, considering their customer service isn't as good as some companies, say Fitbit. And as a result, you have to pay for replacement, pay for shipping, and stuff can add up pretty quickly. And even though it's cheap on paper, it doesn't translate as well, perhaps on rating as expected. It's actually got a 3 out of 5 stars, which is just pretty average for a Pocket PC. Again, in terms of design and hardware, it looked pretty amazing. Had this nice metal finish. No plastic materials are used at all, so just a very solid piece of hardware in general. It feels really good in hand in solid state. Below, again, the touchscreen area, you have the graffiti area for writing letters over here. On the right, you could write numbers, and then you have 4 touch-sensitive shortcut keys that lead you to home, to your favorites, to your search key, and also to your drop-down menu. Tapping the left and right ABC and 1, 2, 3 keys brought up a physical key, a software QWERTY keyboard on the display, which you can pick out. But again, this isn't a very optimized UI for your finger friendliness, so you had to use the stylus that was included. And below this, you had access to a 5-way navigation toggle that's large and easy to press for games and organizing, and also going through the navigational UI of Palm OS. You also had access to a calendar, a contacts, a checklist, and a notes application, which you can use the stylus to draw and doodle and create notes and quick search applications. On the bottom device, again, you have your charging and micro USB. On the left-hand side, you had an optional little port here for you to access a little cover case for it to close, kind of like a book, which was unique. On the top, again, you have access to a full-size SD card slot for expanding the memory and stuff. You can see the beaming technology stuff kind of going here. It's kind of purpley and hazy. You also have access to a full 3.5mm headphone jack, so it's great for listening to music and the such. You also had an on-off switch for turning the screen on and off. And of course, on the right-hand side, you had access to a stylus port. One of the main critiques I had for this product even back then was if you're not using the stylus and you're taking it out to type on the screen and you're holding it like this, the edges of this metal finish, again, it's made out of a solid chunk of metal, it cuts into your fingers a lot. It isn't really showing up that well on camera, but you can see how the edges to this kind of abruptly cuts off, and it's kind of like a knife slicing through the entire part of the mainframe, so it's not very comfortable to grip like this, and you might cut yourself again, so it's unfortunate for that part in terms of the design. Again, on the back, you have a Palm logo. It's a made in China logo, some more information about the product and wireless information, and that was pretty much all. And they also had a speaker on the back and a reset hole, but this is also a Palm device that did not have a battery that was technically user removable. You could, of course, take off the back cover and then change it yourself, but again, Palm would void your warranty. So again, a very interesting look back at a pocket PC that kind of revolutionized the 21st century, not because it was the earliest one or earliest model by any means or any stretch, but because it was one of the most popular ones in the 21st century, and a lot of people still utilize it today. So thanks for watching this video retro review here at OS and VTXreviews.com. There's a look back at the Tunsten E Pocket PC by Palm.